But what do people that don't get on the internet do? Like
Golf.
Hobbies?
Golf.
Yeah.
We should start golfing again.
Falconry.
That'll make the show great. People can show up and listen to our golf stories.
Dan, I would suggest to you to start picking up falconry.
I prefer joinery, wood joining.
Wood joining?
Yeah. You create joints in wood and then join them together.
What's your favorite method of joining wood together?
Oh, definitely the dovetail.
Really?
No.
Because I had you pegged for a mortise and tenon man.
That was the thing I was trying to go for, but my brain couldn't think of. When I worked at my book job, I actually read through a shit ton of joinery books, and I knew about the mortise and tenon joint, but I couldn't think of it now because I've been doing all this other stuff at jobs.
Yeah.
Mortise and tenon, he was like arch enemies with Henry David Thoreau, right? Like
there were these two brothers. One was tall and one was short. The short one had a club.
Mortise and tenon was the guy that haunted Ebenezer Scrooge.
So they call it joinery? They don't just call it carpentry?
I have no idea. I think, joinery is like when you're not using like nails and shit. You're using slots and the way you stick the wood together.
The art of non-adhesive.
I think
wood.
I think they use glue.
Joinery. Are you saying, Dan, you're in the market for a hobby that's not typing words to strangers that you never will meet and hate you for no reason?
No.
He's looking for something to do with his time, but that's what a hobby is essentially, right?
Yeah. No. Here's what, you know what it is. It's a healthy thing because what I somehow started doing was like sucking energy off of the internet, which I don't think, it's a medium. Like you should. If I'm true to my lip service, like I should be getting pleasure from putting shit out, like expressing myself. But then I have to somehow become a person that actually doesn't look at the response, doesn't like pay attention, like never clicks the little A in the circle on the Twitter client. Which it just seems weird because sometimes people are saying like, "Hey, you helped me," or "Can I ask you a question?" But you just kind of want to be able to go like. And just like kind of exhale without inhaling, without taking back. And what I'm wondering is, so what do I substitute? Because I was like sucking energy off of things. Like what do you do in normal life when you want to get energy? You can't get on the internet and suck your little thumb.
Ask people here what they do.
I think that they're pretty much like me. I don't know, but this guy's raising his hand.
You go to bars alone and talk to strangers.
Bars alone and talk to strangers, he says. All right, that sounds good. That's certainly what I was doing from 91 to 2009 before Community started up.
Yeah. But when you said last week, was it last week? You said that writing is gross people asking for hugs. Like it's you saying like you're putting that stuff out there for the response. It's not you putting things out. It's you receiving something back from them. So you have a relationship with the internet that I don't have. I wouldn't have because I couldn't do it. Like you want the response. You can hear 1,000 bits of praise and hear one bad thing, and you'll obsess about that because you're looking for that information. You're trying to triangulate who you are based on strangers' input.
Yeah, so, I always want to know like what's the worst thing that somebody could say about you, because I want to move in that direction. Because
last week it was saying don't talk.
Right. Yeah, which is like saying,
tie your shoe, do anything different, stop doing what you're doing. Like you have a huge, like, energetic reaction to anybody saying, change your behavior. Like in the what was the city, the Pittsburgh show of the Harmon tour, when like Erin came out and she'd been affected by something, and she said, like that hurt my feelings, and you said, I'm sorry that you were hurt, and she was like, well, are you sorry that I'm hurt? Or are you sorry about what you said? And like it was all about behavior modification. Like you don't want to be asked to change anything, which is nobody wants to ask to be changed anything. We don't want to have to change, but we all must. We all do have to adapt if we want to grow. But anytime anybody asks you...
Well, what if I want to grow into a person that never has to change? What if I want to become like Godzilla?
Then you have to change the most.
I have to change into Godzilla.
Yes, yeah. You actually have to change DNA.
And I do that by not caring what people think, right? So I cut myself off from everybody like Godzilla, and I slowly mutate into a giant lizard that breathes fire.
Well, the fear that for you is that if you had to change anything, you'd be sacrificing your identity. You'd lose who you are. Who you were.
But the only thing that I am is a person that doesn't want to be told what to do.
Well, that's not true.
Well, what am I? I'm the guy that likes flower pressing? I'm not.
No, you're the guy that likes to do a million things. One of the things about you is that you hate being told to change. But change is adaptation, evolution. It doesn't mean changing identity or changing essence. You're never going to change your essential qualities, but you could, you could change, you could learn to soften this about yourself or enhance that about yourself. That's not becoming a bad version of you or being bullied or bossed around.
What is softening, and what is that? What does that mean? Every fifth time you have something on your mind, you don't say it? Is that what that is?
No, it's knowing the difference between saying what somebody needs to hear and saying what the first thing that came to your mind was. You can say both things at once. You can express yourself without saying a hurtful thing to somebody that you care about.
I truly don't. I don't think of myself as somebody that says a lot of hurtful things.
Well, no, but you know that you have the capacity to absolutely hurt somebody without meaning it at all. We all do. We all have that capacity. Like, you can say something that you could have said.
What are you saying? How does one grow and change? What is the mandate there?
You're asking a man. We don't know. We don't know how to do this.
Being nicer.
Women have to come into our lives, and we have to allow femininity into our lives. And women go, hey, you know what? The thing you meant to say, don't say it. Just say, hey, they're there. Like, just be a human being for a second, and don't have an egotistical reaction to something and need reinforcement at all fucking times. Like, we think that male egos are so fucking fragile and so brittle and so shitty, and we think that women have this power, and women think that we have this power, but we don't. You don't have to change any part of yourself to not be a cock. When you are in a bad mood. When my blood sugar is low, if it's been a long drive and I need a fucking sandwich, I become Liza Minnelli. I become a cranky weirdo, and I will say things that I don't mean. But as you grow up, ideally, you learn to go oh, this is that feeling I get when Jeff Davis is about to become an absolute unsupportable cunt for no fucking reason. And what I should do is go, hey, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm gonna go take a walk. I'm gonna recognize that what I'm about to do is be hurtful. And before I say the hurtful thing that I know that I can do, like Indiana Jones flips a fucking whip, I will just say something soft instead of hard.
It just sounds like it's just a bunch of fucking garbage that a therapist tells you. It's just such a bunch of business casual cope with society.
No.
Is that the way to get through the day,
look, Dan,
Mr. Harmon?
Dan,
no. It made my girlfriend mad. Well, next time, do you think maybe you should do that, but then take a step back, take a deep breath, and maybe not do that as much? Yes, you're right. I guess a perfect person wouldn't have done that. Well, all right, that'll be $700.
Well, okay, here's what I would say to that. I would say it's about being around people that you respect more than yourself. If you look down on everybody, you don't ever aspire to better behavior. If you always aim down, and whenever you're cranky, vulnerable, defensive, whatever, and you fire down on people, you cannot possibly grow. But if you surround yourself by people whose opinions you covet and crave and want to nurture, and you want them to think well of you, then you start saying what would I do to make people that I look up to look up to me? And it's not about softening and rounding off edges of your personality so you can make dumb people like you. It's about becoming more attractive to the people that you aspire to be or to be around.
That's interesting.
He burped.
Couldn't help it. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I like that philosophy. You could keep somebody in your head instead of the guy in the back of the room who's got his arms folded, going oh, that guy's not funny. Kind of having this phantom heckler in your head. like playing to an idiot, you know, trying to make idiots like you, like imagining that guy is, you know, Agent Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks, or even if it's just a fictional character, somebody that you look up to,
right.
You're like, I wouldn't want him to think I was a twat, you know, and then, yeah, I like that. That's good. That's smart. All right. We got that covered. We're all going to be good people from now on.
Because nobody ever wants to live in a world where we had to change you one iota. We don't want you to ever have to, like, choke up on the bat and not be full force, awesome, crazy, like, rampant Dan Harmon. We want you to always be firing, like, from the hip, like, you know, like Jack Palance and Shane. Like, we want you to be a good guy, a bad guy, like a weirdo, because you're a good writer, and you can't write well if you're thinking about what people think about what you're going to say.
Right.
You need to say whatever you want to say.
But I just have to be thinking in my head when I'm saying it, this one's for Obama.
No. No.
If he's listening.
What you have to think is it's possible to evolve and still be you. It's possible to be a higher version of you. You can elevate yourself above certain behavior that you yourself are not proud of. That you say things that you regret later on. And we drink and we say things drunken and we use that as an excuse, and that's fine, but, you know, or it's not fine. But ideally, there'd be a point when we stop saying things that are asinine or adolescent or puerile or hurtful. And I like to think that at 40 years old, I can't hurt people's feelings anymore accidentally. But guess what? I'm fucking way better at it than I ever was. Like, I can now just be dismissive of somebody, and that's more hurtful. So, like, we do have to, like, grow a bit and use our brains, our evolved intellect. I'm stupider than I was when I was 19. I was way more connected and way smarter than when I was young. Not that 40 is old. But I look at myself now, like, oh, I can be crotchety. I can be cross, contrary. I can be a person that I wouldn't have liked when I was 19. So, like, it's not about me stopping being Jeff Davis. It's about me, like, learning to finesse it a little bit and make it sexier.
Yeah.
But you don't like that.
No, it's just it's very complicated when your relationship is with other people. When you gravitate towards this personality type that, you know, a lot of us in LA, I think, are, you know, we want relationships with strangers. We come out here seeking a hug from strangers. And so some of us do stand-up, some of us write, some of us direct, some of us act. But we're a lot of us pursue some kind of craft. Like, oh, I'm James Dean. I don't care who's watching. But come on, you're not making brick walls. And even if you were, people use brick walls, and you want people to say, "What a good brick wall! You did a good job." The extreme personality that really wants validation, you know, that really drives you, that's really part of your thing. Then you have a relationship with strangers, and then you have this weird thing that becomes like there's this feedback loop. But what was my point? My point was something you said made me think, like, you know, I think the most complicated thing about all of this is that we all give ourselves so much more credit than we think we do. Like, everyone comes into every exchange almost like as an underdog. Everybody thinks that they're the one that needs to stick up for themselves. But we don't
look at you and think of you as an underdog. We look at you and think of you as a titan.
That's the crazy thing, though, because you know, it's.
Boyfriends with their girlfriends don't look at their girlfriend and think, well, like she's like the underdog. We look at them like everybody's holding power over us, and we're all trying to wrest power away from each other, and that's why relationships go bad.
Yes, because everybody is sticking up for themselves.
We said last week that, you know, we talked, or it was a week or two ago, that we talked about, or it could have been fucking months ago, about, like, when people come to you and are weird, they want to find out if you think they're smart. If they people want to come to me and find out if I think they're cool. What do you want from other people when you go when like if you shake hands with these folks after the show, when we were on tour, like walking on the street, from Aaron, from anybody, like, what is it that you want from them? What are you being weird about?
Well, I always just wanted people to tell me that there was a reason why I was born, that I don't know, I just want efficacy, or not efficacy, like, contribution, value.
To be loved?
I mean, I don't know. I think that part of my condition is like that love, like, I think that like there's circuits that go through my circuit board there's parts of the board that are like have this carbon scoring on it, and then there's either through a detour or I intellectualize love. I think of love as a thing that is very conditional, as very like, it's a thing that you don't just get because you're someone's son.
But when you go on a comment section on the internet, what are you looking for? What are you hoping you hear?
He's amazing. He did a great job. Like, he's really, really good.
And what's the worst thing that you would? What's the thing that you're looking? Are you aiming at a certain thing that you don't want to hear?
He's a fraud. He's overrated. He's pretentious. He thinks that he's special, and he's not. He's a completely ordinary, completely lucky person who just wandered into my attention, and he does not have any right to have it.
So how do you feel right now? Do you feel that you have the right to have that opinion of yourself? Do you feel like you're not too big for your boots, that you deserve all this? Or
the boots keep changing size as I keep walking forward and keep ending up in different climates.
So the answer is no. That's an open-ended thing.
Yes, it'll never change. I think if you focus on that, I think that's sickness. I think that's the thing. You're never going to win that game.
And you're not going to arrive at a point.
It's not empirical. You can't measure it. You will only, that's codependence. Like, you're going like, you have to fill this unfillable hole, and you have to actually self-actualize and go, oh, I know what I do and what I don't do. I'm comfortable with it. Most of all, I do my work and I step back. I just do it because I like to do it, and I'm done doing it now, and I step back, and that's what a perfect person does. But the weird irony is that a lot of perfect people don't tend to get that pen out.
With Fifth Third Momentum Banking, we're making banking a Fifth Third better.
Cappuccino for Dave?
Yep. I overdrafted? Now this coffee is $43.
That's steep, even for us.
With Fifth Third Momentum Banking, we've got your back, which is why we give you extra time to avoid an overdraft.
That's way better.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
Fifth Third extra time gives you longer. Anytime before midnight ET on the business day after your account is overdrawn to make a deposit that brings your available balance to at least $0. Visit 53.com for additional details. Fifth Third Bank N.A. member FDIC.
It's an interesting thing, though, that we all think of ourselves as underdogs, and I think we all look at other people. Like, I can look around the room right now, and you're strangers, and your eye contact, you're like that's another person. Like, I don't know what their thing is. They're thinking,
I paid $10 for this.
They might, yeah.
Or this is like sitting with my brother. Who's just sleeping on my couch and just complaining about his parents.
We all cast ourselves as underdogs, but like it's interesting to find out that we freak Spencer,
what?
You would be freaked out to find out that you're. There was a show and Dan was talking about like he's a better writer than me. Like you're a genius. You're half his age. Like it's weird to find out that we all look up to each other. That we all look at other human beings and go, oh, that person. There's a weird sparkle in their eye. There's a tilt of their head that they go, I wish I could do that too. We all aspire to other people. And if we could all be, and I think that's that superhero wish, that superpower wish, is we all look around and go, I wish I could sit as tall as that guy, and I wish I could be as sexy as her, and I wish I could I wish I
could do that dumb thing with my face that guy does all the time. I wish I could I had the balls to wear that shirt. Where are you from? My sympathies.
You're the shittiest Don Rickles of all time. But Don Rickles would walk out and he would make fun of every race, but thinking somehow it was uplifting because the idea is that
because most of the races were actively oppressed and couldn't do anything about it.
Well, because it's all arbitrary. All racism is such a fucking completely arbitrary arrow thrown at nothing, and all we are is afraid of other people looking at us, and everything is a mirror, and it's very interesting to look at if I could give any advice to anybody, surround yourself with heroes and live your life around people that you look up to that are smarter than you. If you're the smartest person in your group of friends, you have a bad group of friends. You should be intimidated by your significant other. You should look up to her or him, and we should all be working with people that are better at the things we want to be good at. But it's amazing to find out that you, who has the show and has community and has the stuff, that really, you have an incredibly low self-opinion mixed with an incredibly high self-opinion. And that's a chicken or the egg kind of thing. Is it self-love or self-loathing that begets the other one? But it's crazy to find out that, we're all really, really concerned that we're worthless.
Yeah, you'd think that would unify us. You would think we would stop.
That's why we're all here. This show is a unification of people who want to find out that it's okay to feel worthless because we're not. I think that's what, a lot of, and I hate to use the word nerd, but nerd culture, geek culture, intellectual culture is a bunch of people who I've been kicked around a lot, but I'm pretty sure that I'm doing it just as good as I can. And we think about it more. The unexamined life is a life not worth living. Who said that? We're people who think about it too much.
And then Kurt Vonnegut said, "What if you examine your life and it comes up fucking garbage?"
Yeah, then you win. We're a room full of people who have the stakes are high. We actually care about how the world perceives us. I think the people that are the bullies, the people that are the jocks, the people that are the dominant, the people that are in Congress dicking around our country and our Constitution and all over the world, they're people who do not. There are people who do not consider what they fucking look like. I think they think that by bullshitting around the room all day long that they're doing it just right. I think.
Well, they don't. I mean, this is the thing about the archetype of the old white man in the suit that controls everything and owns everything. I think the thing that makes that archetype a villain is the one missing ingredient where that person doesn't do that thing. It doesn't say, "I'm doing this, by the way, because I'm really concerned that if I didn't do it, I would be worthless." No, it just seems like such a crime to me. I'm coming from this place on the hungry hippo arena, my hippo comes from the place of because that game's all about what angle you're coming in on. That was a horrible metaphor.
It's horrible if you're born after 1982.
My battle bot is designed around the principle.
Thank you.
That if you are sincere, if you're transparent, then you're going to have a ton of problems. You're going to constantly be made fun of. People are going to be going what? What did you just say?
You're not allowed to be specific.
You just hurt my feelings.
You're punished for being specific.
You just said it wrong. You just did this and that. You do that. That's fucked up. You're gonna have to deal with that. Go through that. And I think maturity for the transparent person is you have to deal with it. Your transparency, if it includes an image of you having your feelings hurt because you're so transparent, is not true transparency. It's another stained glass window with you as a saint, and it's distorting the light that's coming through. So but my goal is transparency. Is just going look, I don't know if I'm a good person or a bad person, but I gotta be honest, and I know for sure that thinking one thing and saying another, it may seem in the moment like it's a really good idea, but it's a really slippery slope.
Yeah, you're cursed with being an intellectual. And I hate that's a stupid word.
It's tough. It can be rough.
But the thing is, if you think about things, things are fucking tough. The Odyssey, Homer, there's stories about heroes. They didn't think a lot. They just went out and they fought dragons and they did shit. But later on, as life goes on, we become intellectualized and we think about everything too much. We become crippled by it.